Hello, my fellow nerds. Welcome back to me explaining this abomination of a roster. We're already 3 parts in. I honestly don't know if I can keep up with this or not. All right, but time we covered the second row, we did the first row in the first episode, and now we're finally going to be covering the third row of my roster. And I think this is the row with the most actually drawn palettes by far. Sort of number where, sort of number where four compares to the row two, I believe, and then row one has like three. So like the first two rows had three characters that I actually did palettes for. This one has four. And hopefully that will actually be a bit worth it than, well, far more worth it than the last two. But third time's a charm, and I'm here to try to explain the row as best as my ability. And don't worry, the later we go down the road, the more I'll be able to remember the movesets. And I'll be real, the third row is really weird, to say the least. It has some really weird picks, but I will try my best to explain it. So let's get started. Mage Sisters. So, yeah, we're starting off with a pretty big one, to be honest. The three Mage Sisters I thought would be pretty good characters individually, but then I thought they're the three Mage Sisters, so it makes more sense to have all three of them fight together. So that's exactly what I did. I remember very vividly that I made their movesets like, so that you can switch between all three of them. And honestly, yes, this is not the first trio character that is in Smash Brothers. We have Pokemon Trainer for a reason, even though because technically it is a trio character, but Pokemon Trainer is since to be one character sometimes, but it can be counted as three. Mage Sisters is basically the exact same sort of like deal or idea that I had when making their movesets. And I never actually got to play the Kirby game that they started at all. But I did watch a few people play it, and I've seen some of their moves in the boss fights. And yes, I also had to look up their moveset as well. And I also found out that, spoiler for probably a 5 to 7-year-old game, you can actually play as these characters. Because yeah, apparently they're actually playable in their debut game. So you might think, oh, their movesets are toned down, right? Oh, so that's why you were included in your game as playable characters. You know what? I like it. And I'm pretty sure you guys would have liked their moveset too, because of course their moveset would have to have the down special and be able to change between all three of them. And in their home game, I'm pretty sure it's just called Kirby. Is it Kirby something? I don't really know the actual title was, but in their home Kirby game, you could actually switch between all three of them, all of which are boss characters, by the way, and are equally overpowered. And don't worry, in Smash Bros, they're just as overpowered. I'm not gonna pull any punches in Kirby's character. The Kirby franchise is Sakurai's baby, so of course it's gonna give Kirby and the others special treatment. And when making the moveset for these three, I thought it kind of made sense to include them all as one character. I should probably actually introduce them. The first one on the right is Flamberge. She's the fire one, and uses a sword that's just completely standard. You know, fire sword and similar to Roy. But then you have Francisca, who's the one on the left. She controls ice and I guess water to some extent. And she also has the best range. Pretty much the best range of all of them since she can shoot her ice blast in any direction. And then there's Tarzan. She uses the spear with electrical properties that have utterly disrespectful range, and I don't really know how else to describe it. It's just utterly disrespectful. You want something that can go through walls and a lot of utility and mobility? How about more range and utility and mobility, but now with electrical properties? That totally makes him not so overpowered, now doesn't it? So yeah, of course I had to give them three entire movesets, each of their own, because of the weapon they use and the the status cause being freeze, stun, or burning. And honestly, my favorite of the three is Francisca. She's kind of my favorite because just the cool blue sort of thing sort of matches my avatar as well, as you can see here. Yeah, I don't have blue eyes, but who cares at this point? Now, to break down each one individually, Francisca is the one that uses ice, San Partizan uses electricity, and Flamberge uses fire. And you can switch between all three of them with their down special. And each of their other specials individually are just attacks from their boss fight that you can either charge up, just use right away, or just as an absolutely deadly recovery. In the vein of San Partizan's is probably the most ridiculous because, well, you guys probably saw the clip earlier, didn't ya? Here it is again, in case you missed it. And of course, their final smash was, of course, that one screen cleaning move. Sorry, it's that one screen cleaning move that is basically a friend attack that needs no friends required. Just have three characters do it in one go. It's a single hit, and it's pretty much just play the original game if you don't believe me. Trust me, it's that overpowered. And honestly, looking back at the moveset, I think I did this one really good. I never really did a triple character at that point, so it was kind of a new experience being able to research all of their attacks and you know, this is the same game where Magolor has an attack called Deadly Needles Deluxe. No, I am not making that up. I wish I was. looking back at the moveset, I probably wouldn't want to streamline it any further. I think I did it perfectly, to be honest, especially for my first time doing a three-way character, all of which have unique movesets, all of which have unique properties, and all of which can actually destroy you no matter what. Like as Wombo had once said.
Let me lay it down for you, though. You've got a normal kill, and then you've got overkill, and then you've got extinction, and then you've got planetary level annihilation, and then you've got the three mage sisters.
Registeel. Okay, so now we're on the first Pokemon of the list. And I should say roster, not list. Sorry. But to be honest, I don't know why I picked Registeel specifically. Like, I don't know, was it the meme material that it produced? Was it because it was a cool steel type with interesting Pokedex entries? Honestly, I don't even know. I can't even tell you. I wish I knew, but I don't even know why I picked this guy over any other character. I could have easily picked Regigigas for the character slot, and just so they could just resize him down the same way that they did Ridley, but nope, I didn't. I picked Registeel specifically. I don't know why I picked this guy initially at all. Like, he just feels sort of like an odd one out. Like, he doesn't really belong in the roster. But then again, the official specials has Pikachu, Jigglypuff, Pichu, Mewtwo, and Lucario, and Pokemon Trainer, all of which are Pokemon characters. So I don't really know what else I have to say here. Having Registeel as just a character for itself is kind of weird. Like, it's very weird because you would think I would make Regigigas the main one, but nope, I had to pick Registeel. Honestly, I could have also done a whole thing where there's just this one random guy and he switches between all three of the Reggies, but nope, I didn't. I honestly did not. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know why I did it with Registeel. It's the one time that doesn't make sense. But honestly, I don't know. Maybe I was cooking something when I was younger. Who knows? So if I remember correctly from what I can gather, Registeel is of course would be a very heavy character in Smash Brothers, and of course he would have like 2 jumps. He wouldn't have a crawl and wouldn't have any other movement options at all. Though honestly, if he crouched, it would kind of look pretty awkward because he wouldn't crouch that much. I mean, seriously, he's like the epitome of turning 30 years old. Turning the age 30, 30 basically takes your bending away, and that's all this guy does. But from what I can remember, I'm pretty sure. Wait, no, that doesn't seem right. I'm pretty sure I did make him a very heavy character, but also very slow, and I actually had to look up the level up moveset just so I can actually get proper moveset for him. Or, well, I shouldn't say it, because Registeel is technically genderless, so in all honesty, I think I just need to get more find it very, very funny. It's just to have one Reggie, but not the others. It's just thought it was funny, you know? I guess I thought it was pretty funny because it's like not using it, that would be too obvious. However, I did think I included Regigigas from Final Smash, so it's like Regigigas and its three children, Registeel, Regice, and Regirock. But I guess if I had to update it, I would probably include Regidragon and Regieleki in Final Smash as well, because they're the Reggies that were introduced in Gen 8. Reggie. The name doesn't, the word doesn't have any meaning to me anymore. I'm already desensitized to it. But overall, Registeel is just a weird pick of this entire roster, and it's only gonna get weirder from here. Trust me, I know. I made the roster. And no, I did not make any palettes for Registeel. Although if I had to make color palettes for Registeel, it would be a crime to not make its shiny form one of the colors that you can pick. Seriously, Smash Bros. Has a very bad habit of making shiny versions of Pokemon just completely not available to you to play at all. The closest that we got is one of Incineroar's ults, but even then that's a stretch. So yeah, seriously, Sakurai, if you and your company are gonna make another Smash Bros., for God's sakes, give the Pokemon their shiny colorations as one of their alternate palettes. Please, it is not that hard, guys. You have official material right there. Anyways, moving on to the next character. Looking back on it, I feel like I could have drawn her a little bit better, but this is as good as I can get, people, so bear with me here. Of course, the default is just how she looks normally, but the other alts are just in reference to her actual sisters. All the other Valkyries that you can play as, despite all of them technically just being the same, because they're all technically just the same character, but with different looks and aesthetics, and that's it. But that would be just a bit of a genuine disservice. So I initially thought that all her palettes could just be her other sisters, since they all use different weapons. Like one uses a trident, the other uses a sword. It wouldn't really work. So making them just color palettes, it just kind of works that way. And honestly, I have a lot of fun making these. And to be honest, my favorite one has to be the one that kind of looks like Palutena, but it's not Palutena. Okay, it's basically movesets, and it was really fun to make all of her palettes as well. And if you probably see like a little bit of color splotches on a couple of the palettes, that's because I was trying my best to do some shading. Yeah, I'm not that great when it comes to lighting or shading at all, so yeah, there's not much else to explain here. Aside from the fact that I do like the third palette. The third palette and the green hair is just really nice. But aside from that, tell me what do you guys think about these palettes specifically? Actually, I'm probably gonna show off more palettes later on, so let me know in the comments what you think about every single one of the palettes and what we do change. So moving on to the next character. Tai is probably one of the more interesting characters in this entire roster. Basically because he doesn't have a conventional fighting style. Instead of fighting with his fist, or a gun, or a sword, he fights with boomerangs. Yes, boomerangs, because he is a Tasmanian tiger from, of course, the one and only state in Tasmania from the land down under. And you may be wondering why nobody ever... I wonder why nobody even talks about this character. Tai is probably one of the most interesting characters in the PlayStation library, and he doesn't even get any new games anymore. Seriously, why does nobody make any new games for this guy? I really want to play more of his games. I've only ever played one Tai the Tasmanian Tiger game, but that's because my dad owned it for the PlayStation 2, and I've only played it a little bit. But from what I played, I really liked it. It was actually a pretty fun game, and it felt like a puzzle game at times when you had to use the boomerang so often. It honestly felt a bit like a Legend of Zelda game, just with boomerangs, of course. And if I had to redesign a moveset, I don't think I would. I remember very well that I utilized a lot of the different boomerangs, like the Mecharang, or... Wait, I don't even remember what other boomerangs he would use. Hold on. Oh, now I remember. So I do remember that some of his specials that can use different boomerangs he was able to use. He has several types of boomerangs in his home series, but of course I had to utilize the Smasharangs for smash attacks, Plasma Rangs, Lasso Rangs for grabs, a Frosty Rang, a Flamerang. My god, there's so many boomerangs. How many does this guy have? And it just keeps going into there's even tier 2 and tier 3 boomerangs as well, but like, oh wait, no, there's just 2 tiers of boomerangs. Okay, I can work with that. And honestly, using these boomerangs is pretty fun. It's pretty fun, especially when you actually get to use them in your smash attacks and such. I don't know, maybe if I had to, I would rework his moveset to utilize more things that are references from his games. And of course his taunts would be references as well. But aside from that, he's another character that I also actually had the time to make palettes for, and I think I was super proud of the palettes that came out from, actually making them, because they're all references to different characters in the series. These are the palettes that I had made for Tai all that time ago, and honestly, I wouldn't change any of these. These all look really good. And of course, you guys know my favorite one is the green one, for obvious reasons. But of course, some of these are actually references to major characters like Maurice, who is a cockatiel that has a tongue just as nasty as it replies. Or well, I should say a tongue that's just as nasty as his attitude. And honestly, I wouldn't change these palettes at all. The Maurice one is the second one, I believe, if I remember correctly. Though if you ask me what all the other palettes reference, I don't think I could tell you, because it's been a while. It's been a long time. I don't remember any of these. Though if I had to remake the moveset, I think I would streamline it a bit more to include more of the boomerangs that he's used in his games. And if I had to do anything different, well, I think that's actually the only thing I would do different. Everything else looks perfectly fine. Is perfectly fine if you ask me, and I'm not sure why nobody even talks about Tai the Tasmanian Tiger. Seriously, this is the guy that beat up Crash Bandicoot, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Spyro the Dragon and sent them all to the hospital. Seriously, don't believe me? Look it up. There's a commercial all about it. guy. The Team Fortress 2 Heavy. Finally, I actually get to talk about a character that I've wanted to speak about for a long while. And honestly, having the Heavy in Smash Brothers is it's actually an interesting idea, especially when you kind of remember the fact that he's a person who is paid to kill and will murder again. But you know, thinking about the Heavy in Smash Bros. Standpoint, honestly, he'd be kind of one of the bad characters. He would of course be a very slow heavyweight, with only two, and he has to be given a double jump because well, everyone in Smash Bros. Has a double jump. So, and giving the Heavy just one jump is kind of a crime, especially when it comes to Smash Brothers. I mean, yeah, he only jumped once in his games, but wait, what am I talking about jumping? Okay, aside from that, Heavy's moveset is pretty obvious. He of course has the shotgun, this minigun, the sandwich, his own two fists, and I believe that's about it. And I also like the aesthetic idea of having a teleporter be his entrance, and that's just something that'd be pretty cool in my opinion. But aside from that, I guess you can also make it so that he parachutes just like he does in the comics. And there's a lot you can go on when it comes to his moveset. But of course, I do remember giving his down special as a sandwich, because a Heavy main would not be the Heavy main without a sandwich. Let's be real. I have a lot of hours in Team Fortress 2, and I mean a lot of hours. Seriously, 900 hours played I have in this game. So imagining a moveset for the TF2 Heavy was actually pretty easy. It's just the fact that, well, he kind of comes from, well, of course he's from a team game, but I'm not sure Sakurai would actually want any of the TF2 stars in Smash Brothers. So having Team Fortress 2 in Smash is a pretty big challenge. Like, if you were to come to the idea of Engineer, for example, which Smash Bros. Crusade has actually done, there's actually a mod for him, it'd be very complicated because he would be able to set up sentries, teleporters, and dispensers because, well, it would only make sense for him to do that. And I've also had this idea for like a medic assist trophy of sorts, but I think that's about it, because you can't really take the metagun away from the medic, especially if you can't take the minigun away from the Heavy. Plus, I'm pretty sure if you try to take the gun from the Heavy, you'd probably crush your spine by the end of the later. So to circumvent this, I think of a moveset that the Heavy could totally have, and I don't know, maybe to make a mini-series about what moveset these guys would have. Dude, seriously, let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. Also, having comments is really good for the algorithm, but don't put algorithm in the comments, okay? Anyways, of course, I had to make the Heavy's final smash in Ubercharge, but I'm pretty sure I called it something really cringe back then. Something like, I don't know, Manco Mauling? At least I believe that's what I called it. Just calling it Ubercharge is just lame and it's a bit too on the nose. So calling it a Manco Mauling, where he gets this, it just sounds cooler and more cinematic, I suppose. He will of course get assistance from the medic and anyone trapped by him will be pulled to a cutscene. And where of course Heavy utilizes his favorite minigun here. I'm pretty sure he's named his minigun Sasha, but he's named his other miniguns in the past as well, like Natasha or Svetlana. I don't really know what the other names are, but I do like them all. And although I'm gonna be honest, my absolute favorite one is the one with the silent barrel, because they don't know that because if some poor sap walks around the corner, they don't hear you. Yeah, they're basically dead. And sure, they probably be able to see you, but they won't hear you coming. That's the funny part. It's just funny. It's like you're playing Spy, but you're a giant who can move down anyone with a giant minigun for some reason. And when crafting the pallets for the Heavy, I actually had a lot of fun with this. Actually drawing the Heavy was pretty difficult. Not gonna lie, drawing the TF2 Mercs in 2D is pretty hard. I can see why the last comic took 7 years. But aside from that, I think that Heavy also came out really good, from what I remember. At least that's how I remember making them. Let's see if I can at least... There we go. These are the palettes that I made for the heavy if you were in Smash Brothers, and I think these came out really, really good. And thankfully, these ones actually have references that I can explain. Okay, so obviously the red one is the default, while the blue one is the alternate. Of course, B references to the ever so warring factions Red and Blue, or blue is Builder Leagues United, and red is something excavation demolition. I forgot the R stands for, but it's probably Redmond excavation demolition. And then you remember that in the lore of TF2, the whole war happens because they're fighting over gravel, not gold, not Australium, gravel, the most boring material on the planet. Anyways, game back to the palettes. The purple one is actually a reference to Miss Pauling, or you could say it's a reference to the administrator. The brown one is actually a reference to Saxon Hale. The slightly off yellow one is a reference to, well, Australium, the actual thing that's kind of like gold but slightly different. The green one doesn't really have any reference. It's just the green alt, just for GRN, I suppose. And the very last one is of course Robo Heavy. But you guys are probably wondering, what the heck is the second to last one? Well, I actually decided to do a more fun reference for this one. Because the second to last alt for Heavy is actually a reference to Tycho from the Poker the Inventory series. If you guys remember there was a little mini game. Well, not really a mini game per se, but more like a duology of card games that was created by Telltale Games. This is simply known as Poker Night at the Inventory, and it's one of those games that's of course a crossover game between different series. And of course the first game had the crossovers of Sam Max, Penny Arcade, some guy named Strong Bad, and of course the heavy weapons guy from Team Fortress 2. And just to let you all know, every one of those games are portrayed as their canonical selves. It is literally canon in Poker Night at the Inventory that everyone is portrayed as their canonical selves. So yes, this means that Heavy does have a PhD in Russian literature. Unlike how everyone else is telling me that he doesn't. He has a PhD in Russian literature, guys. It's not that hard to just understand that it's there. It exists. It's canon. but personal gripes aside, I actually really liked all of these alts I made. And these are really interesting, especially the Tycho one. I don't think anybody would have gotten the Tycho one if you had to take a guess. Like, if you guys probably just pause the video so you can try to guess what all these alts are based on, then I applaud you. Very good, very good. But I'm pretty sure you guys didn't understand the second to last one, which is Tycho. So if you guys just heard the Tycho explanation just a few minutes ago, then I'm sorry. I had to reference Poker Night the Inventory. But I know Telltale kind of went bankrupt, and that's why these Poker Night the Inventory games were pulled off the shelf. And Heavy only made an appearance in that one game. But if we ever do get a Poker Night 3, maybe we can have all 8 characters from the previous games and actually be able to play against each other. Like, imagine Max and Sam playing against each other instead of each other. Although, that wouldn't really make sense. It's Sam and Max, not Sam or Max. But I'm getting very off track. Anyways, the heavy weapons guy is by far one more interesting character I made palettes for. And it was just very fun to do. And yes, the machine one does have nuts and bolts on it. And it would have the Robo Heavy voice, which just makes a lot of sense. Anyways, moving on to the next character. Maka Albar. And here we are with another anime character on the roster. Honestly, this is starting to get a bit oversaturated now, isn't it? Yes, it's another character that's now from a video game. So what? But I was actually able to have fun making her moveset. I remember very well. And what I can remember is that I believe I made her a lightweight character with the ability to, well, of course, 2 jumps and the ability to wall jump. And I guess I could also give her a wall cling because she could just stick soul into whatever surface and just spin upwards, I suppose. I don't know. But looking at Maka and the series she's from, Soul Eater, which is an anime that I did watch, thankfully, when I was like 13, I believe. Yeah, making yes, we do have a scythe item in the game, but there's no one in there that actually uses a scythe as a weapon. This is because back then, scythes were actually very small, and they were just gardening tools. That's literally all they were. That was until fiction actually popularized the idea of having scythes just be giant-ass weapons. And honestly, I really like it. Aside from the fact that it'd be heavy as all hell, you'd have to actually have a lot of grip strength, and just general body strength to lift that thing. Oh, sorry, did I say thing? I mean him, because Maka's partner is a character named Soul Eater Evan, who is a guy that can turn into a scythe. Yeah. By the way, I should mention that the rules of Soul Eater is very unique, as every person who is a Meister, that is what Maka is paired with a character that is a weapon, which is what Soul is. And yes, the AS weapons are also people, so they have their personalities and funny quirks that they do every now and then. Although Soul is more focused on trying to be cool, and Maka is just the smart, intuitive one. So essentially, their soul wavelengths are pretty much able to counteract each other in a sense. And trying to make a Smash Bros. Moveset for them was, well, I did say it was easy, but that was kind of a lie. It was actually pretty challenging. I had to watch the entirety of Soul Eater just so I could get some sort of inspiration for each of their moves. And any sort of frame that I thought was a good idea, I jotted down for later, until I made my final decisions on what should be and what should not be in their movesets. And of course, I made their taunts just very, very unique, serious, and also pretty funny. Though I also like the idea of their victory animations with Soul turning back into a human form and just standing alongside Maka looking at the camera. That would be a pretty interesting victory animation. And of course, their victory theme has to be a Soul Eater theme. It's just one of the main things that I do very easily. Either that or I made, well, it's either a season 1 theme or season 2 theme, which is like I don't know. Oh, and also, I would holding information or something because one of the information holding is that every character that they made would actually bring in their own stage and their own serious music. Yeah, obviously. And on this stage, I don't know that the city that they live in, Death City, would be playing a great stage, which is a horribly inspired area, including Death Academy. Yeah, makes a lot more sense. And then we have the background characters like Blackstar, Liz and Patty, as in it is two characters in one, but you're mostly just playing as Maka and while using Soul as the weapon. You're literally beating up a person with another person who is turned into a scythe. Now that is funny. And like the previous two, she is another character that I actually made a moveset for. Or sorry, not moveset, color palettes for. My bad. I misspoke. And let's see if I can't happen to find them. They should be around here somewhere. Hey, editor, do you think you can probably find the Maka palettes? Thank you. That's a lot better. So of course I had to make all of Maka's palettes reference different characters from Soul Eater. And funny enough, the first one is of course the default, but the second one is the funny one, being a reference to our partner, Soul Eater Evans. And yes, his name is Soul Evans. That is his name. Then we get to the third one, which is reference to Blackstar alongside that little star-shaped mark. I know you can probably barely see it, but if you blink your eyes open, you can kind of see it. The fourth doll being representing Death as a kid, followed by the fifth one being representing my father, Spirit Alvard. The sixth one being reference to Krona, the seventh one being reference to Blair, and the final one, of course, being the same as the default, but instead has her in her casual school attire instead of her Deathmeister attire. And I was really happy making all these alts, although honestly I think I could have done a better job drawing Maka. Seriously, the twin tails are so difficult to get it's Krona's weapon. I forgot what it was called though, but I know he's powered by black blood. It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't remember. Although for the Blair recolor, I kind of had to think out of the box when it came to the soul size, and what I decided on is that for the Blair coloration for Maka, Soul would just get the color. We actually get the colors of just pure Halloween colors. You know, black and orange. Makes more sense. And of course, the casual colors just have Soul revert back to its default, which makes sense. Unless you just want to add more saturation to Soul, so you would tell the difference between Maka Dittos. Anyways, I really liked all these bolts. I like how they came out. They all, actually felt really nice. And tell me, which one of these alternate colors is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, moving on to the next character. Danny Phantom. This is probably the odd one out. And this is actually the one part of my Smash Bros. What If series that I actually just started to implement some rules to my list. But I'll go over the rules after I go over the character. So, why Danny Phantom of all characters? I know it's kind of a weird one to actually think about because, again, he's not from a video game, he's from a cartoon. But though he is from a cartoon that was created by the same guy who made Very Odd Parents, so honestly, I kind of had to give it to him. Making a Danny Phantom moveset was pretty easy, and I know all these ones are gonna be pretty easy because I don't use just the games as a source. I also use the show as a source as well. So having to strictly make myself take moves from video game adaptations of Danny Phantom would have made, or even Maka Albarn for that matter, would have been very difficult because I highly doubt Soul Eater had any games, and Danny Phantom only had a few Flash games, and that's about it. So making a moveset for this guy was honestly pretty difficult. It was I had to watch the entirety of Danny Phantom all over again just so I can actually figure out what his moveset would be. Of course, I made his final smash the actual Banshee scream thing that they does during the series, which is the one that exhausts his powers the most. But I basically had to think he's kind of a mix of a brawler and a blaster of sorts, or I guess in Smash terms, a brawler and a gunner. He's sort of a mix between the two. And not the moveset itself is, or probably was, something very weird and unique, especially since Danny is, again, a mix between a brawler and a gunner. So he has standard projectile damage from across the stage, but he also is very good at close combat, so it kind of makes him a jack of all trades in a way. And when I think about it now, I think I could have done even better for Danny Phantom's moveset, considering the series he's from. I could have made a whole lot more references. I probably could have made his home stage, I probably made the Ghost Zone, which makes a lot of sense. And I think that's about it. I think if I had to make palettes for this guy, there would of course be some palettes references to friends Sam and Tucker, but there should also be some references to his enemies like Box Ghost and Vlad. Even though, Box Ghost isn't really that popular of an enemy because he gets handled very easily. I don't know how Box Ghost keeps coming back though, it just makes no sense. But aside from that, I think I made Danny's moveset or actually very easily, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure I posted a TikTok about it at one point. Okay, so wait, as I'm editing this video, I actually just happened to have found the actual TikTok that I posted with the movesets. And of course I'm actually looking through it. So apparently I made Danny a mid-weight character with 2 jumps and access to wall jumping and covering. He has a 3-hit jab, a dash attack where he flies forward with the fist first. I even went as far as to go with the tilt, to cover tilts as well for all the movesets. Well, I guess it makes sense. So, and for some reason I made the Ghost Whale his forward throw instead of his final smash. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I guess I actually had to innovate a lot when it came to the moveset. And I guess it made, I also made his down special vanish. actually apparently made his down special a counter move where you try to attack him, as he didn't advantage, you would just phase right through him because, well, of course, it's kind of like the Pokemon rule. Fighting doesn't affect ghosts, so unless they have a physical thing. Oh, okay. It seems like he made his final smash the Fenton Thermos, which makes a lot more sense. So I guess I kind of made it the same as Luigi's final smash, where he sucks all his foes into the Fenton Thermos, and then shoot them out forwards. Kind of like Luigi's final smash in Ultimate. Honestly, yeah, that makes sense. And then I look back at it, it makes a lot of sense. Although I'm not really sure how the Fenton Thermos will work on characters that on a majority of the rosters, since, well, all of them are not ghosts. I don't know. Who cares? It's Smash Bros. It's not going to make any sense. Okay, so I also just found the costume section. So, wow. Okay, I did a lot apparently. And this is the only. I guess this is the only moveset I was actually able to save somehow from the Amino being shut down. Jeez, how was it this one that I actually managed to save, but not everything else? Okay, so I wanted to explain something before we move on to the next character. In that when I actually finished the Danny Phantom moveset, I decided to make a few rules to my roster. And you guys can probably notice some sort of pattern when it comes to the roster, because the first god, 11, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, the first 29 was basically just sort of sloppy when it came to organization. So at this point, I decided to make a few rules to adjust the series. And these implemented rules are, well, I think I only had like 2 rules that I implemented. And it's these rules right here. One, I would only do a non-game character every 7 blocks as to not oversaturate the entire roster with non-game characters. And the second rule was that I will not be doing any characters that Brawl Final 1 had already done. So I didn't want to seem like I was copycatting anybody, because if I had to do any characters from his roster, I probably would have done the exact same moveset that he did, so it would be actually lazy and uncreative. So aside from that, this is the roster that I have finally, and we only have 4 more characters in the third row to cover. So I'm gonna cover these last 4 relatively quickly, because, well, it's gonna take a lot of explaining to actually individualize all of them. Midnight Lycanroc. Okay, so here's the second Pokemon character on the roster, and I'm actually very happy that I did this one. This was actually one of my favorite moves to make by far, because, well, I don't really know why. I'm pretty sure it's because I thought Lycanroc Midnight form was a lot cooler than Midday, but then Dusk form got announced, and you know what, Dusk form was my favorite. Anyways, making Midnight Lycanroc moveset was actually very easy, again, because it's a Pokemon character, and there's plenty of ways you can characterize them, but I decided to come up with a moveset that far exceeded anything else. So, of course, their neutral special would, of course, be Rock Throw, which makes sense, but I also wanted to take inspiration from Lycanroc Midnight Form's Pokédex entry, which states that this Pokemon would actually actively wait for its opponent to attack before hitting them with a hard counterattack. So I had to make their down special counter a fighting type, which is a fighting type move, by the way. It's an actual move in Pokemon. So yeah, I know it's just another counter, but look, I'm gonna be real. Counters with sword characters are boring. Counters with brawler characters are more interesting, in my opinion. And yes, I know Mii Brawler technically has a counter in their custom down special, but I don't really count that because that's a custom one. I'm looking at all these characters. I'm looking at characters at their default 1-1-1-1 movesets. So essentially, no changes whatsoever. And making a moveset for Lycanroc here was pretty easy. And yes, its final smash is Splintered Storm Shards, but it will of course be a souped up version of Splintered Storm Shards. So it's a souped up version of a move. Kind of like Incineroar's final smash. Why I don't know why Smash Bros. Just does this. Just make the shiny form one of the possible colors, Sakurai. It's not that hard. You have options there. And again, the only Pokemon that are close to their shiny forms are possibly Pikachu with its red alt, Incineroar with the white and red alt, which is more orange than red, and Ivysaur with its pure green alt. But even then, it's still not an exact match. I would like at least all Pokemon characters in the future of Smash Brothers to just have a color based on their shiny. And Midnight Lycanroc shiny looks awesome. Do not make it lighter than it is. Keep it this deep dark blue. I love it. And so overall, I really do enjoy Midnight Lycanroc's moveset. I probably would streamline it a bit better. Its side smash would be Stone Edge or something. That would actually be pretty hype. And I guess I just sort of chose Lycanroc because, well, again, it's cool. It's the cooler looking of the three variants. Well, don't get me wrong. I love Duskform Lycanroc. It's my favorite variation of Lycanroc. But like Midnight Form, it just has that werewolf vibe, you know. And I know Smash does have wolf characters like Wolf, but that's about it. So having Lycanroc Midnight Form would be very interesting, to say the least. Hey look, it's the other Sega rep that I had done in the series. Oh, it feels so long ago now. Honestly, I think Beat was probably one of my most requested characters to be in Super Smash Brothers. Honestly, probably because I'd actually played this one Sega crossover RPG game that was just on mobile. I forgot what it was called though. It had a lot of characters in it. And there was that one beat that was animated by Pringus McDingus, I believe the person in it. The animator's name was. I don't know. But having Beat in this Smash Bros. Roster would be extremely interesting to say the least. Because he wouldn't really fight per se. You see, the way that well, quote unquote combat works in Jet Set Radio is not actually combat. Instead, you're just going around the city spraying any spray tags that you find, and essentially marking your territory. Beat would of course be a very speedy character, and yeah, he's still not as fast as Sonic, but let's be real here. We all really want Jet Set Radio to be represented in Smash Brothers in some way, whether it be just a DLC stage, or just some music, or even a costume. I would even take a Mii costume for Beat to be in the game. Please, I would be so happy to see that. And aside from that, I really do think Beat has a lot of potential to be a character. So when I look into this moveset, I guess I can take some inspiration from not just from his games, but also his appearances in Sega Tennis, Sega Racing All-Stars Transform, and of course his other appearance in that one Sega crossover RPG mobile game. God, I completely forgot what it was called though. I believe I made it of course being the spray paint that he uses. However, when you use it in special, I imagine that it would leave some sort of tag on you. Essentially say that you can use it to what was the name of the tag in the first game? It was like Mr. Onigashima or something like that. I don't know, it's been a long time. I honestly should really do it their game at some point. Anyways, I would actually also make Beat side specials similar, but instead he actually dashes forward and spray tags on the background, and anyone who goes around it near this background will take damage over time. Kind of like some sort of poisonous fog, I guess. I mean, then again, that makes sense. If you inhale graffiti spray, then you're probably just asking for a trip to the hospital. The other special I sort of made is some sort of backflip jump, which essentially just acts like a third jump that Beat can do. And the down special, I don't really know. I think it means down special is some sort of break dance that he does, while spraying spray paint all over the place. I'm not really sure. And of course, the final smash would be something similar to Bowser Jr., where he spray tags the entire screen, and anyone who is caught up, and everyone is caught up in it, taking some damage here and there until this tag finally explodes and just sends everyone flying. Well, of course, it wouldn't do that much damage. It'd probably be act similarly to Bowser Jr.'s Shadow Mario Paint, which, funny enough, is a double reference to Shadow Mario and Mario Paint. God, I really love it when Smash Bros. Does double references for Smash Bros. For Final Smash names. Anyways, I really think Beat is a really good character to have in Smash Brothers, especially if you really want to get more Sega reps in there. Like, come on, why is Sonic still the only representative of Sega? Let us have more characters. I want to see Knights, I want to see Beat, I want to see freaking, I don't know, the guy from Golden Axe. I'd even pay to see freaking Taxi. I would want to see Crazy Taxi in Smash Brothers. Any other Sega rep, seriously, any of them. Just put another one in there that's not just Sonic. And yes, I know Joker is owned by Atlas, and Atlas is technically owned by Sega. But I don't count Joker as a Sega rep. We don't count him as a Persona/Atlas rep, not Sega. So there's that, I guess. Anyways, moving on. Speed. Okay, so yeah, I actually decided to be Pokemon Trainer as a person, and this was actually a lot weirder than the Pokemon Trainer that we are aware of. So you see, instead of having to use 3 different Pokemon that we can switch between, I decided to just use one Pokemon that we clearly cares for as an ace. And that happens to be the silent Pokemon, Hatterene. I just think it makes more sense to have use Hatterene only and no other. Well, yes, I know he does have a team of Psychic and Fairy type Pokemon, depending on which part of him you're talking about. I'd really prefer to him just having one that represents both. Hatterene is the obvious choice to have. And Hatterene, of course, would be very slow. It'd be slow, it'd be bulky, but it would also be a rather low-key character because, well, it's a Psychic and Fairy type. So naturally, it would only use the Psychic and Fairy moves to have itself float a little bit. Also, I kind of had the idea of giving Hatterene different palette colors as well. But of course, as I was actually a bit too lazy to do that. I didn't do that. I promise I will eventually get to Bead eventually, but I don't know. At some point, it's gonna be start to take a toll on me making all these palettes. Ooh, man, I didn't even do half of the roster yet. But anyways, or I guess I should say, have a Bead. It's a very Pokemon as Matthew said. I did a similar in Like It Rock, but with the whole thing of the trainer in the background and the Pokemon the ones we all fighting. So Hatterene will of course use fairy moves. We're going to use fairy moves like Dazzling Gleam and Psychic moves like Teleport and, well, Psychic and Confusion. Hatterene would of course get their shiny coloring for one of their alts. It would be a crime not to do that. Although it would actually be funny for if we had a Chairman Rose ult, we would have Hatterene have the colors of Liliana, which makes a lot of sense, I guess. Or you can just make Hatterene the colors of the ace Pokemon of each character I had mentioned. But let's be real here. If Hatterene didn't have a shiny coloring for their altered colors, it would actually be kind of a crime to do that. As I've said multiple times before. Anyways, next character. Gotcha Summoner. Okay, we're finally here at the last character of the third row, and honestly, I'm just cooking with them. So the Gotcha Summoner is a very niche and very minor mobile game series that's totally indie, I promise. It's a series called the Gotcha Life series. And if you guys probably know what Gotcha Life is, then you probably know some of the how do I say this politely? Some of the controversy well, I wouldn't say controversy, but more so the odd variations of the fan base that we all have. And I really don't want to talk about that one in order to keep this video as family friendly as possible. So I'm just going to be talking about the set that I made for this person. Oh, and you probably noticing I'm using person or they or them. That's because Gotcha Summoner is a protagonist character, and that is fully customizable. So you can have the Gotcha Summoner be male or female. Or I guess you can also have them non-binary or trans, whatever you want really. Because the Gotcha Life series is basically, how do I put this lightly, a glorified version of a dress-up game. Okay, that's a bit rude, honestly. It does have some quirks and perks here and there that make it set out from the rest. Because it's not just a dress-up game or a character customization thing. You can also use it to tell stories, create reaction videos, or you know, anything you want essentially. But then you realize people could make whatever they want, which is a very big problem. So big that the Gotcha dev team actually did some things to actually fix that problem. Thank God they fixed it. Oh my God, I would be so confused as to why anyone would ever want to do that. But going back into the Gotcha Summoner's moveset, I actually did quite a unique job with their moveset. It was one of the more interesting ones to say because, well, aside from fighting all by themselves, they would be able to summon different characters, and these characters are all characters that actually play a very, very universal role within Gotcha Life 2, and another game, which funny enough is a visual novel and not a typical Gotcha game, called Gotcha Memories. Gotcha Memories is a very, 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 very obscure visual novel that I can very easily tell you nobody has played. I can tell you for a fact, I highly doubt anybody has played this. Okay, I wouldn't say nobody. It's gotten a good following for a while, and yes, I was actually one of those followers. And when I think back to it, I think they could have done a little bit different, a few different things when it comes to Gotcha Life, because when you actually play the actual game, it does have some moments that I took inspiration from the moveset. And well, I haven't played Gotcha Memories in years. I did play that one Gotcha Life game that can summon characters to do your fighting. So of course you have characters like AoE, Kuguri, so there's AoE, Kuguri, I'm pretty sure one of them is just named Saito. I don't really know, but she's a yandere, so it makes sense. And of course the goddess of all creation, Looney, and of course a succubus character that was also part of Looney. The plot gets complicated, okay? Just trust me. So essentially, this person is a very, very ancient and very unique and niche character that I don't think anybody would ever think about, because this character has one of the most unique weapons of all time. and as confirmed in the visual novel, it is actually a ring. But it's not just any ring, it is a ring that can turn into any weapon that the summoner can imagine. From swords, to spears, to guns, to javelins, to freaking battle axes, anything you think of, it will transform into that weapon that they want. Literally anything. Anything that they can think of. That is honestly really crazy. I wasn't really expecting anything like that. It's a lot. It was a lot of undertaking, but thankfully I was able to simplify the infinite potential of the ring by just showing, hey, you can do all of this stuff, and it can also summon other people to your side. And I don't quite remember what I made in Final Smash, but I know I had something the creator goddess Ludi in the series. I don't really know. I don't know. Maybe if Amino somehow does get revived, which I highly doubt it will, then I might be able to go back and look at the new set and see what I had done, and I'll be able to better explain it. But, anyways, aside from that, I chose this one because this is an Avatar character, and Avatar characters to me are very interesting, aside from the fact that you can make them either a boy or a girl. And for Dutch Summoner's color palette, I of course made them have male and female variations, but I also made the male and female variations have colors based on the characters from Gotcha Memories and Visual Novel, which I'm pretty sure makes a lot of sense. And of course, they will be accompanied by a tiny little fairy named Ellie, who, funny enough, this tiny little fairy named Ellie is actually the goddess of RNG. RNG will always be on our side. But aside from that, that's all the characters in the third row. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to get through this episode because it was going to be so much harder to explain each of these ones, but you know what? It was actually far easier. So tune in next time when we talk about the fourth row of fighters, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!